They all look the same.
7 years
Yeah.
old.
Recently released the Monumental with Smith and Wesson.
Yeah.
So what is it about working with Technical Steel that you actually enjoy?
They're just my friends from a long time, man. Since the early 90s we met, and we just kind of hit it off, you know, because real recognize real. And when that happens, it's just like all due respect from there. But we decided to come together years later and do what we talked about years before, which was, you know, do songs together. But back then, I think maybe I was thinking like a 1 or 2 off, or not the whole album, you know. But I said, you know what? I'm tired of this because I know what I can do. I know who I am. I want to do an album.
Did you find that it was almost like an act of fate, like things just fell into place and it sounded the way it should? Or was it like, were there things that you found quite hard to pin down the way you wanted?
Really, this album was as far as the beats is concerned, was really easy because all I did was give them about 20 beats to pick from, and they picked what they wanted to use and made the album with it, you know. And it took us a year to do it. So, you know, I'm very proud of the work process and ethic that went down. You know, it was times where we weren't happy with each other, but, you know, because of certain habits we have. But, you know, we quickly got over that because we knew we were doing something great. So that really didn't matter after a while.
So with Nas having a return, could we see you and Nas teaming up?
Yeah, we're working together now. And we're doing Rock the Bells together. Me and Premier are incorporated in his show. So that is going to be exciting. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but I know it's going to be something great. Yeah.
So is there a rapper that you haven't worked with that you would love to?
Yeah, it's plenty of them, you know. And I say this again, I just work with people who want to work with me. You know, there's people that I would like to work with, and, you know, vice versa. And, you know, we'll see what the future holds, you know. Yeah, I mean, you know, one of the rappers that I wanted to work with is from my era, and it's Jay-Z, and I finally made it happen on Watch the Throne. So that's in the bag. We've been wanting to work with each other for a long time, so I'm just glad it finally happened.
And it's on the most anticipated album of the year, probably.
Yeah, Watch the Throne I know I can't wait to hear the whole album. I've heard bits and pieces, but I haven't heard the whole thing.
Just pick up my voice.
Is that Biggie on your shirt?
It is indeed.
Wow.
It's a dream. You know, no one
Wow.
ever spots that.
Wow.
Everyone's like, it's just some guy.
Wow. That was my friend, man.
Yeah. So Biggie is probably, if a lot of people could choose who they could do a song with, that's probably the artist that everyone.
I wish I could have did a whole album with that cat, man. And he's Jamaican and he's a Gemini like me. You know, we have similarities. And when we met, we were excited. You know, like he was excited to work with me, and I can tell because when he was at my house, he kept naming beats he wanted to rhyme to. He was like, yo, I want this, this, and this. But the beats he wanted was interludes that were on like Mecca and the Soul Brother and The Main Ingredient. So I was like, wow, man, seriously? You mean to tell me I don't have to do too much work? I want to do something great for you like I did with Nas, you know? And he was just such like a, you can tell on the inside how happy he was to be and I was excited to be in his presence. So the feeling was mutual, and it's just a shame that he had to leave us so soon, and I didn't really get to work with him the way I wanted to, you know. And you know, I just got Juicy off, and that was it. And I remember his last words to me on a street corner in Manhattan. He complimented me on the song I did with Large Professor called Rap World. Or I forgot what we called it. Yeah, Rap World. In the World, Rap World. And it was on the High School High soundtrack. And he told me, he's like, yo, Pete, that shit is so crazy. You know, and that was the last time I saw him, and that was the last thing he said to me. You know, sad, man. You know, he was a great talent and could have did big things, and a lot of people that are big now wouldn't be so big if he was around. He is big.
I want to talk about like the relationships, because I know you got good relationships with artists, but your relationships with other producers.
Yeah.
Like you had a close relationship with Dilla, and you actually oversaw J Stay Penez.
Yes.
Did you maybe share like a vision? Would you say?
When I first met him and I went to Detroit to visit him, he picked me up in his Navigator, blasting Mecca and the Soul Brother. And as I'm walking out the airport, and I'm like, wow, and I'm getting my beat tapes ready, and I'm like, yo. So I get in the car, and we just start kicking it, pound each other up, hug, and I start whipping out these beat tapes and popping them in, and he's like, you know, bugging and getting inspired, and I'm getting inspired, and once we get to his house, we just start playing around with music, man. And, you know, I ended up doing a song called Once Upon a Time, which was on the first Slum Village album, but it was a different version, and then he flipped it on a remix to show off his talent in front of Pete Rock, so I was really blown away. And it was just such a great relationship, and I spoke to his mother, and she calmly whispered, J Dilla always wanted to be like you. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. I mean, I felt like he's done his homework and some, so he's taken it a couple of steps higher than I did. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm telling you, I know skill when I hear it, you know, and he definitely had it. And it was just fun to be around him. He's such a humble individual, and he's such a nice person. And you find that in this world. You don't find too many people like that. Yeah, big time.
Okay.
I've always been